Hello and welcome to Hilarity by Default, where we take on everything by default. Well, tonight I'm going to let you in on a little bit of a behind-the-scenes story. Tonight, Kyle and I just sat down to record our return to YouTube video with announcements for what our future is going to be on the channel and other projects. But a story just dropped. And if you've been following our channel, it's one of those stories that we just can't pass up. Kyle doesn't even know what we're about to talk about, but I'm going to introduce the topic right now. And to introduce this topic, I'm going to need to put on a particular hat, which is going to look horrible with my corona hair, but screw it.
I still can't see your image on my side, so there you go.
Screw it, because it's worth it. Bruce Campbell returns as Brisco County Jr.
I'll take it.
For a live table read.
I'll take it.
Evil Dead alum Bruce Campbell and his fellow Brisco County cast members will gather for a table read of the pilot episode later this month. The Evil Dead actor tweeted a Brisco image with the caption, "Guess who's coming back for one more ride," and included a link to the main event. Said event will be a reading of Brisco County Jr.'s pilot episode, where Campbell will reunite with former cast members Kelly Rutherford, aka Dixie Cousins, Christian Clemenson, Socrates, and John Piper Ferguson, as well as showrunner Carlton Cuse. And here is the image of Bruce Campbell's Twitter.
How are they going to do Jules?
Julius Carey, Lord Bowler. That is the tragedy of this. He was so unique in the portrayal of that character that having somebody else step in for him is still gonna feel weird. However, I mean, they're probably gonna have another actor do that anyway. But there is still the possibility they can still use his voice recording from the actual episode. I sincerely doubt it, but I mean, they can do it.
Dude, they got the guy who stars in Evil Dead, and they have an opportunity to do a digital seance. Ooh.
Well, if there's any show that can add a steampunk nature or steampunk twist to the seance, it's Brisco County freaking Jr.
That can. No, asked and answered. You forget. Ironically, somebody who's now dead himself. Arlie Ermy was a ghost dad in one of the episodes.
Senior Spirit. The table for this table read has been set. And in fact, since we are doing a Brisco County Jr. episode, let's bring up our Brisco County Jr. layout here and go to the actual site where we can read a little bit more about why this is happening. Apparently, special guest stars will include Baron Vaughn from Grace and Frankie, according to House Seats Live. The event will be taking place July 31st at 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern, and I believe the tickets are being sold for $12.50 a pop. Proceeds from this performance will be donated to Color of Change, the nation's largest online racial justice organization, and it will be available to watch for up to 2 days after it airs on July 31st. As fans of Brisco County, as somebody who watched it as a kid, I know, as we mentioned many times before on this retrospective series, of which more episodes are coming out, FYI, is kind of following this journey of Brisco from me as a young boy watching it to its cancellation, to discovering Bruce Campbell's other works, to doing this retrospective, to having Bruce Campbell himself tweet out about our show and featuring on his website, to the fact that he's now coming back for this. My only conclusion is that we are 100% responsible for it.
And they say I have a big ego.
My ego is hilarious by default. I'll just leave it at that. But I don't know. Are you excited about this?
No, this could be absolutely cool. I mean, heck, you know what this makes me think of is maybe we should do table reads of various things we've covered for charity ourselves. Who knows?
We could do table reads of our previous reviews.
Yeah, that's perfect. I would love to see the script of me talking about how much I destroyed you about a debate we had 3 months before that episode.
I'd like to see the table read where you have to sit there and just read out, "Darn you, Demos, you Mickey Fireball."
Hey, listen, it's better than a lot of the other scripts you've written for me before. In the face! In the face!
You see, nobody who's watching this is going to understand that reference at all. So maybe you should explain it a little bit.
I told you you need to at least put the music video online. I'm just saying.
There are many years ago, back in the early 2010s,
and two weddings later, probably.
More like 7. But I was put in an interesting position. I was the man of honor at a wedding. My best friend, she was getting married, and she's my best friend. And so she wanted me to be in the spot normally reserved by the maid of honor. So I was a man of honor, and I had it was an interesting experience to begin with, because maybe 1% of maid of honors are guys, and of that 1%, maybe only 1% of them are straight. So I'm the 1% of the 1%. Bernie Sanders probably hates me, but nevertheless, I was given a lot of. There was a big expectation for what my toast would be, because even back then I was kind of known for taking interesting twists to what normal people do. So I decided to make a 45-minute movie about the worst possible toasts that could happen. We filmed something at Disney World. We had Disney characters actually interacting. We did Toast, the interpretive dance. We had Toast, Toast to Toast, literally a section of the film dedicated to edible toast. And of course, Kyle joined me in for Toast, the musical, which was an incredible performance. And yet for the rest of the film, as an in-joke, his only dialogue was literally in the face, no matter what. He had one other line. You did have one other line, which was, hey-ho!
Yeah.
Which I cut out.
I honestly, yeah, which is on the cutting room floor. I actually have, you hear my voice more in the outtakes, talking at least, than...
One of these days, if when we do start a Patreon, or whatever other service offers that kind of service in the future, I may have to set an insanely high goal for the release of that footage, because it does involve me singing, and I actually, to be honest, I'd actually feel bad if you paid for that. But nevertheless, if you're willing to, I'm not going to say no.
I mean, if it garners enough interest, Demos and I will re-record an audio version so both of us can polish. I'm just saying. They didn't have auto-tune back then. I'm kidding.
Yeah, auto-tune would not have helped it. Although I can say I am a better singer now than I was back then. Now I don't make your eardrums explode. They will just bleed profusely. So it is a step in the right direction as far as I'm concerned. So what does this have to do with Brisco County Jr.? I'll explain. Absolutely nothing, but thank you for joining us on this little...
Which is what you are about to become.
Thank you for joining us on this little diversion. Getting back on the saddle, so to speak. Yeah, transition orgasm. You're welcome, Kyle. I'm excited for it. I don't know much about the charity and where that's going, but as far as Brisco County, it'd be interesting to see Bruce Campbell, his take on the role now, like practically 30 years removed from that. It's almost akin to seeing how he went back to the role of Ash in Ash vs. Evil Dead following his last appearance in Army of Darkness, video games aside. I wonder if interest in this, if it's successful enough, if it might galvanize a reboot. Now we're going to talk a little bit to what our thoughts are on a potential reboot for Brisco County Jr. retrospective. But given this new information, what do you think? Do you think that might be a possibility?
Man, listen, all I can tell you, the evidence is out there, man. The interviews that the greatest chin in B-movie history himself has professed, I should say, is that the one character he'd like to take back out and play around with a little bit more is Brisco, right? Ash has done his go-around. He feels like Bubba Hotep's mostly done. Sam Axe, I don't know how much more you could really do with him at this juncture, as cool as he is, but Brisco is rife for the rebuilding. And you got to, I mean, we kind of alluded to it ourselves after they did what they did to basically, in our opinion, kind of try to almost murder the show in the middle of the season that existed. What they brought back was pretty darn great. The only thing that would be the truly biggest struggle to reintroduce Brisco County is to find a way to account for Lowered Bowler. Jules Carey, man, that's a tough ask. Like, I'm too worried that somebody will think a Kevin Hart type would make fit, and they try to lean too much in the comedy and ruin the character. This guy has to be amazeballs as well. Okay?
Son of Bowler is probably what they're going to go with. If they were to do it.
Well, so that would be the protagonist. Actually, that makes me feel better about them trying to nail Bowler properly. But then again, the problem becomes, how do you make Brisco the third a sidekick? That's tough.
Oh, if it does have his son or anything. I mean, we do go more into what our thoughts would be on the Brisco continuation in tomorrow's episode. Oddly enough, where we cover what we think about this, with the originally proposed second season, overall thoughts on the show. It's a retrospective on the retrospective. Like I said, any more of Groovy Bruce, I'm all in for it, man. I'm all in for it, baby. It'll be great.
Hail to the king.